Okay, so here's what's going on. I've got Grok, and he's compiled the facts for me into the Iceberg format, and I'm going to be reading off in great detail all of the entries. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's get started. Tier 1, The Great War of 2077. In the Fallout universe, the Great War is a cataclysmic event that reshapes humanity for the future. Plunging the world into a post-apocalyptic wasteland, it's not just a historical moment, but it is the cornerstone of the franchise narrative, a grim reminder of humanity's capacity for self-destruction. Let's dive into the facts, lore, and tantalizing theories surrounding this apocalyptic turning event, while all painting a vivid picture of a world on the brink. What we know about the Great War. The Great War erupted on October 23rd, 2077. The date seared into the Fallout timeline. It was a global nuclear conflict that lasted more than 2 hours, but left the planet in ruins. Here's the core of what we know, drawn from the Fallout games Fallout 1 through Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 76, as well as other related media. Resource wars and global tensions. Fallout universe diverges from our very own timeline in the mid-20th century, embracing a retro-futuristic aesthetic and a world where nuclear power and cultural optimism dominate. By the 21st century, however, Earth faces a dire resource crisis. Fossil fuels are nearly depleted, sparking conflicts known as the Resource Wars. The Sino-American War in 2066 to 2077 is the most significant precursor to the Great War. The United States and China, two superpowers, clash over the last remaining oil reserves, particularly in Alaska, where the U.S. controls the majority oil field. In the Pacific, China invades Alaska in 2066, leading to a decade-long stalemate. This U.S. Develops advanced technologies like power armor. Example is the T-51B power armor and fusion energy, giving it a military edge. By 2077, American forces pushed China back, reclaiming Anchorage and invading Chinese territory. This escalation brings the world to the brink. Other global conflicts exacerbate tensions. The European Commonwealth Middle East war over oil reserves destabilizes Europe, while internal strife and economic collapse weaken nations worldwide. The day it all ended, October 23rd, 2077. On that fateful Saturday morning, approximately 9:42 a.m. Eastern Division Time, ETD, nuclear warheads began detonating across the globe. The U.S. and China and other nuclear powers unleashed their arsenals in a mutually assured destruction scenario. The exact trigger remains in a shroud of mystery, but the result here is clear. Billions die within hours. Cities like Washington, D.C., Boston, L.A., and Shanghai were obliterated. The sky burns, radiation blankets over the planet, and civilization begins to collapse. The war's brevity, 2 hours, underscores the horrifying efficiency of nuclear annihilation. Intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, orbital strikes, and submarine-launched warheads ensure no corner of the globe is spared. The immediate aftermath. Survivors face a world transformed by radiation mutates flora, fauna, and humans, giving rise to creatures known as ghouls. Humans mutated by radiation, some feral, others are sentient. And super mutants. Super mutants were also created by the FEV. We'll get on to that later. The U.S. government, in anticipation for the nuclear war, partners with Volt Tech Corporation to build vaults, underground shelters designed to preserve humanity. However, many vaults were secretly experimental, subjugating inhabitants of those vaults to cruel social and scientific tests. Just as an example, Vault 12 had radiation exposure, which turned all of the residents into ghouls, and Vault 112 was a virtual reality prison. These outside vaults face new lawless wasteland. Survivors from factions like the Brotherhood of Steel, Raiders, and the New California Republic, otherwise known as the NCR, struggling to rebuild and dominate the ruins. The mysteries and theories, who started it and why. The Great War's cause is one of Fallout's greatest unsolved mysteries, fueling fan theories and speculation. Here's a dive into leading possibilities, blending lore with intrigue. China shot first. Evidence is the Sino-American War escalation points to China as the likely culprit. The U.S. was winning by 2077, having reclaimed Alaska. Invaded Chinese territory. Desperate, China had launched preemptive nuclear strike to avoid defeat. Supporting lore in Fallout 4, a terminal in the switchboard, a pre-war DNA facility, detects Chinese stealth submarines and bombers approaching U.S. airships just before the bombs fall, suggesting that China initiated the attack. Theory twist here. Some fans speculate that China's strike was a calculated move to cripple the U.S. economy and military, not expecting a full-scale retaliation. 2-hour war suggests rapid escalation neither side could control. The U.S. started it theory. Evidence that the U.S. government in Fallout is depicted as corrupt, paranoid, with agencies like the Enclave, a shadow government, manipulating events. Some theorize that the U.S. false flag operation or miscommunication triggered the war. Supporting lore here is that the Enclave's pre-war influence and Vault-Tech's readiness for the nuclear war suggests insiders knew that the war was near. In Fallout 76, automated nuclear silos continue launching missiles post-war, hitting U.S. systems primed for destruction. There's a theory twist here of a rogue AI like Zax, seen in Fallout 3, could have misinterpreted data and launched U.S. missiles, sparking a chain reaction. The Fallout universe loves its rogue tech, after all. Okay. We've got Vault-Tech's conspiracy. Evidence of Vault-Tech's sinister experiments and cozy relationship with the U.S. government rise suspicions. This company's slogan, after all, is "Prepare for the Future." Takes on a grim tone when you consider their vaults were often designed to fail or experiment on the inhabitants. Supporting lore here is the Fallout TV series in 2024 and Fallout 76 hint that Vault-Tech had foreknown knowledge of the war, possibly even influencing the outbreaks to ensure that vaults were populated. Leaked script from the canceled Fallout 3 project called Van Buren suggests that Vault-Tech might have launched the first nuke to guarantee their business model. A theory twist here is that fans speculate that Vault-Tec colluded with the Enclave to start the war, ensuring their post-survival war elite survival as a post-war elite. This theory paints Vault-Tec as a corporation puppet master, profiting from global annihilation. Now, this last theory is a little bit out there, but some may suggest that the aliens, Zetans, may have caused the nuclear fallout. Evidence of this is the Fallout series includes an extraterrestrial elements such as the Zetans in Fallout 3, Mothership Zeta DLC, and Fallout 76. Zetan technology and abductions predate the war, suggesting that they could have manipulated global powers. In Mothership Zeta, players discovered aliens and had been observing Earth for centuries. Some terminals hint that their interference in human affairs, possibly including military tech. Theory twist here: a fringe but fun theory poises that Zetans triggered the war to weaken humanity for an invasion or experimentation. While unlikely, the wild card is that it fits Fallout's quirky tone. There's another theory here that says that no one started it. It was just a tragic accident. The Fallout's world is rife with technological hubris, automated systems, those like those in Fallout 76's nuclear silos could have been malfunction, misinterpreting signals as an attack. Supporting lore here is real-world parallels, i.e. the Cold War never misses like the 1983 Soviet false alarm, suggesting a glitch could spark the global war. Fallout's resilience on aging, over-complex tech supports this idea. A theory twist here is that cascading failure, say a satellite misreading a meteor as a missile, could have triggered automated launches worldwide with no human intent. This paints the Great War as a tragic inevitably of a world too reliant on machines. Yeah, this last little bit is just a little bit of entertaining tidbits and speculation. The sound of doom. In Fallout 4, the air raid sirens of TV broadcasts during the opening sequence create a chilling atmosphere. Imagine hearing, "We interrupt this program as the world ends." Pure Fallout drama. What if it was a Tuesday? Fans joke that October 23rd, 2077 being on a Saturday would mean some poor souls will be stuck on the weekend traffic and then the bombs fall. Picture a wastelander muttering, "Worst commute ever." The Enclave's secret plan. The Enclave, a remnant of the US elite, survives in bunkers and claims to be humanity's saviors. But their pre-war ties suggest that they may have known that the war was coming and let it happen anyways. Could they have sabotaged peace talks? Pop culture echoes. The Great War mirrors the real world, Cold War fears, but Fallout amps up the absurdity. With its retro aesthetic, imagine a world where Elvis Presley's Atom Bomb Baby was the last song on the radio before the bombs dropped. I might take this one out. The Forced Evolutionary Virus, or FEV for short. The FEV is a pre-war viral agent developed as a part of the U.S. government's initiative to create super soldiers capable of withstanding harsh climates and of a post-apocalyptic world. particularly in the face of potential biological or nuclear warfare. Pre-war development. FEV's origins trace back to the Pan Immunity Vibration Project, PVP, initiated in 2073 by the U.S. military and Westech, a defense contractor. The goal was to develop a virus to protect soldiers against biological weapons, particularly in response to tensions in China. The project evolved into FEV by 2075, when experiments showed that the virus not only granted immunity, but also caused significant physiological changes, including increased strength, size, and resilience to radiation. Or resistance to radiation, rather, sorry. These changes came at the cost of reduced intelligence in most subjects, severe physical mutations. Testing initially occurred on Westech Research Facility in California. Early experiments involved animals. By 2076, human testing began on military volunteers and later unwilling subjects, including political prisoners. So just a real quick rundown of the timeline. That's 2073, Pan Immunity Viron Project begins. Then in 2075, FEV's research starts, showing mutation effects. And then in 2077, FEV experiments escalate. Westech facility hits during the Great War. Or is hit during the Great War. Post-war spread. On October 23rd, 2077, during the Great War, the Westech facility was hit by nuclear strikes, releasing FEV into the atmosphere. This caused widespread, albeit minor, mutations in the human population, contributing to some of the genetic variations seen in the wasteland. Large quantities of FEV were also stored in the Mariposa military base in California, a key site for later super mutant creation. FEV was also transferred to Vault 87 in the East Coast for separate experiments. Supermutants. Supermutants are humans, or in rare cases, other creatures. Transformed by exposure to FEV, the virus radically alters their physiology, resulting in a massive muscular beings with enhanced strength and durability that often reduced cognitive abilities. The specific outcomes depend on the FEV strain, exposure conditions, and the subject's genetic purity. West Coast super mutants Mariposa strain. The origins of this strain. The first super mutants were created in the Mariposa military base under the direction of the Master, a human named Richard Gray, who was mutated into a psychic hive mind entity after falling into a vat of FEV in 2102. Creation process. The Master, believing super mutants were humanity's next evolutionary step, orchestrated large-scale dipping of humans into FEV vats at Mariposa. These super mutants were stronger, larger, 7 to 8 feet tall, and often sterile, and with varying intelligence based on the subject's radiation exposure. Low radiation exposure. Humans with minimal radiation damage, i.e. Vault dwellers, produce intelligent supermutants, like the Masters, Lieutenants, or characters like Marcus from Fallout 2 and New Vegas. I didn't know Marcus was in New Vegas. High radiation exposure. Wastelanders with radiation damage often become less intelligent, Brutish super mutants. The Master's Unity, a cult-like movement aimed to convert all humans into super mutants, created a unified, radiation-resistant race. In Fallout 1, 2161, the Vault Dweller destroys the Mariposa base and defeats the Master, halting the large-scale super mutant creation in the West Coast. In Fallout 2, 2241, remnants of the Master's army are encountered, and the Enclave briefly recreates Mariposa for further FEV experiments before its destruction. By Fallout New Vegas, 2281, surviving Mariposa super mutants, like those at Black Mountain or Jacobstown, either hostile or seeking peaceful coexistence under leaders like Marcus. East Coast super mutants, Vault 87 strain. Origin. On the East Coast, super mutants were created in Vault 87, a Vault-Tec facility used for secret FEV experiments. Unlike Mariposa, Vault 87's experiments began shortly after the Great War, using Vault residents as test subjects. Vault 87's FEV strain was less refined, producing super mutants that were generally larger, up to 10 feet tall, more aggressive, and consistently less intelligent than their West Coast counterparts. Those mutants also grew continuously over time, leading to larger variants like behemoths. Key differences. Vault 87 super mutants are uniformly hostile, with rare exceptions like Fawkes in Fallout 3, who remain intelligent due to isolation and self-education. They reproduce by kidnapping humans, exposing them to FEV, and releasing the failed mutants, or using them as food. In Fallout 3, 2277, the Lone Wanderer encounters Vault 87 super mutants across the Capital Wasteland, with Vault 87 as their primary source. In Fallout 4, 2287, the Institute creates its own super mutants, using a different FEV strain derived from experiments in underground facilities. These mutants are released into the Commonwealth, contributing to the region's super mutant population. Other strains. Institute super mutants from Fallout 4, as we mentioned, conducted in the 22nd century, produced super mutants similar to the Vault 87s, but were abandoned after the program failed to yield useful results. Virgil, a scientist, is notable super mutant from this program whose intelligence remains. Huntersville's mutants in Fallout 76. In Appalachia, West-Tec conducted FEV experiments in Huntersville before the Great War, creating early super mutants. These mutants were similar to Vault 87s, with low intelligence and high aggression. Vault-Tec Corporation, founding and purpose. Pre-war origins. Vault-Tec Corporation was founded in the mid-21st century as a major player in the U.S. defense industry, specializing in nuclear survival technology. By the 2060s, the U.S.-China resource wars escalating, Vault-Tec secured a government contract to build the Vault program, a network of underground shelters to preserve humanity in case of nuclear war. Publicly, Vault-Tec sold the vaults as safe havens, promising protection from radiation, disease, and societal collapse. Their iconic mascot, Volt Boy, became a symbol of optimism plastered on everything, posters to Pip-Boy wrist computers. The Volt program began construction in the 2050s with 122 volts planned across the United States. Each volt was designed to house up to 1,000 people, though some held fewer, and sustained them for decades or centuries using advanced technologies like water purifiers, hydroponic farms, and nuclear reactors. Unknown to the public, Voltec collaborated with the Enclave, a secretive pre-war cabal of government corporate elites, to use the Volts as social experiment programs. Only a handful of these Volts, called control Volts, were built to function as advertised, while others subjected to the residents to bizarre and often cruel tests to study human behavior, genetics, or survival under extreme conditions. The experiments were allegedly designed to gather data for post-apocalyptic colonization, possibly on Earth or other planets, as the Enclave planned for a future where they rebuilt society in their image. Voltec, just for a little rundown for the timeline here. Voltec begins Volt construction in 2050s. Voltec program gains traction and amid the resource wars in 2060s, and the Great War post-Volt seal as planned October 23rd, 2077. The Volt program, structure and implementation. Volts were deep underground, using advanced engineering to withstand nuclear blast, earthquakes, and time. Each Volt had a GEC, Garden of Eden creation kit. In theory, a terraforming device would rebuild the surface, though not all the Volts received one. Entries were selective. Residents were chosen via lotteries, government lists, or wealth, though Voltec's criteria often prioritized experimental needs over fairness. Costs were astronomical, with some estimates suggesting a Volt spot could cost millions in pre-war dollars. Volts varied in size and purpose, but shared features like living quarters, command centers overseen by the overseer, and self-sustaining systems like Volt 13 had a redundant system for long-term isolation. Others, like Volt 112, were built for more specific experiments. Control experiments versus experimental experiments. Control experiments, i.e. Volt 8, Volt 13, designed to function as advertised, opening after a set period, example 20 years, to recolonize the surface. These were rare, with only 17 out of the 112 volts serving this purpose. Experimental volts. Most volts conducted experiments ranging from psychological, example Volt 11's sacrificial overseer elections, to biological, example is Volt 87's FEV testing. Examples here include Volt 12's necropolis, where they left the seal to the door just a little bit unsealed to allow radiation to leak into the Volt, exposing everyone and turning them into ghouls. Volt 15, overcrowded with diverse groups to test social conflict. This birthed the NCR and Raider tribes. Vault 112, a virtual reality simulation trapping residents in a dystopian fantasy under overseer Stanlius Braun. Experiments tested human resilience, adaptability, genetic manipulation, often for the Enclave or Voltec's post-apocalyptic goals, such as space colonization or social engineering. Post-war fate. On October 23rd, 2077, the Great War triggered nuclear devastation. Most vaults sealed as planned, though some vaults, example Vault 12, malfunctioned by design. Others, like Vault 76, opened early, 2102, while Vault 101 remained sealed for over 200 years. By the timeline of the Fallout games, 2102 and through 2287, many vaults failed due to experimentation, sabotage, or external threats, i.e. raiders or super mutants. Survivors from successful vaults, like those from Vault 8, forming Vault City, or Vault 15, forming the NCR, shaped the Wasteland's future. I'm not going to run down every single vault, but I'll give you just a couple of key vaults and their stories, alright? Just a quick little rundown here. In Fallout 1, 2161, Vault 13 exists. A control vault in Southern California meant to open after 200 years. A water chip malfunctioned, forced the vault dweller to leave early, sparking the events of Fallout 1. Its residents later founded Arroyo. Vault 15 and Fallout 1 and 2, overpopulated with diverse groups to study conflict, it collapsed into chaos, spawning the NCR, Cons, Vipers, and Jackals by 2161. Vault 8 from Fallout 2, 2241, a control vault that opened on schedule, forming Vault City, a technocratic but elitist society in Nevada. Vault 76 in 2102, a control vault in Appalachia, opened in 2102 to rebuild America. Residents faced a ruined world of scorched beast and faction wars. Vault 87, Fallout 3, 2277, an experimental vault testing the forced evolutionary virus, FEV for short, creating the East Coast super mutants. Its residents were mutated or killed. Vault 101, Fallout 3 from 2277, designed to remain sealed indefinitely to study autocratic rule. The Lone Wanderer's departure destabilizing it. Vault 111, Fallout 4, 2287, a cryonics experiment freezing residents for 200 years. The sole survivor's family was targeted by the Institute, leading to the game's events. Vault 112, Overseer's Bronze virtual reality prison where residents were trapped in simulated dystopia for his amusement. Pre-war culture. Cultural foundations. Pre-war America in Fallout is a frozen 1950s aesthetic with Art Deco architecture, swinging music, and tail-finned cars, but infused with advanced technology like fusion power, robots, Example is Mr. Handy and Protectrons. And personal computers. Example is a Pip-Boy. This retrofuturism stems from a world where transistors development was delayed, prioritizing nuclear advancements over microelectronics. The culture was defined by optimism about technology potential to save all problems. From household robots to lunar bases, but this was undercut by paranoia from the resource wars of 2052 to 2077, a global conflict over dwindling oil and uranium reserves, primarily between the US and China. Consumerism dominated the mega corporations like Voltec, Robco, and Nuka-Cola Corporation, shaping daily life. Advertisements, TV shows, example, The Adventures of Captain Cosmos, and jingle-tastic propaganda glorified American exceptionalism while warning of a communist threat. Social dynamics. The U.S. government leaned authoritarian, with martial law implementing camps for Chinese Americans during the Sino-American War in 2066 through 2077. Protests were common, often met with brutal crackdowns. Example, food riots in Fallout 4's Boston. Social stratification grew. The wealthy elite secured vote spots and joined the enclave, while the working class faced rationing and conscription. Suburbia thrived with picket fences and Nuka-Cola vending machines, but urban streets decayed amid the resource shortages. Entertainment was escapist, with drive-in theaters, comic books, and radio serials. Technology like holotapes and virtual reality, example Vault 112 simulations, hinted at a future never arrived due to the Great War, October 23rd, 2077, when the nuclear bombs obliterated civilization. All right, so just a quick rundown of the timeline here. We've got resource wars begin, fueling global tension in 2052. Sino-American War starts, escalating propaganda in 2066. And the Great American War and nuclear devastation ends pre-war culture in October 23rd of 2077. Now, on to the drink that you all crave. Nuka-Cola, the drink that defined an era. Origins and rise. Nuka-Cola Corporation was founded in 2044 by John Caleb Brad Burton, a chemist who invented Nuka-Cola, a sugary soft drink that captured America's heart. Marketed as the taste of the future, it became the country's most popular beverage by 2060s, rivaling real-world Coca-Cola. Drink's formula combined carbonated water, sugar, and a secret blend of 17 fruit essences with a mild radioactive isotope for a refreshing zing. Its iconic bottle, curved glass with a red logo, graced every diner, vending machine, and billboard. By 2077, Nuka-Cola's empire included factories. Theme parks like Nuka World opened in 2050, and variants like Nuka-Cola Quantum released in 2067. A glowing blue drink with double dose of caffeine and radiation, developed for military use but sold publicly. Corporate power. Nuka-Cola Corporation was a megacorp with deep ties with the U.S. government and military. It sponsored propaganda campaigns, sports teams, and even Voltec's Volts. Example, Nuka-Cola vending machines in Volt 111. The company experimented with dangerous additives like quantum's strontium 90 isotope, causing health issues, i.e., glowing urine per Fallout 4 terminals. These were downplayed as with aggressive marketing, like Volt Boy sipping Nuka-Cola. Nuka-Cola's dominance crushed competitors like Sunset Sarsaparilla, a regional rival in the Southwest, and Vim, popular in Maine, Fallout 4's Far Harbor DLC. Post-war legacy. After the Great War, Nuka-Cola bottles became a wasteland staple, valued as currency alongside caps. Survivors scavenged for them in the ruins, and some communities, i.e. Diamond City and Fallout 4, still cherish the drink. Variants like Nuka-Cola Dark, an alcoholic version, and Nuka-Cola Victory, a high caffeine export, persisted in the wasteland, with Quantum's Glow making it a prized find. In Fallout 4's Nuka World DLC 2287, raiders overturned the park, but its bottling plants still produce Nuka-Cola, hinting at the drink's enduring allure. Sierra Peratova, a fictional collector, runs the Nuka-Cola Museum in Fallout 3, providing its cultural staying power. Let's just run down some key variants of Nuka-Cola because it's a delightful beverage that you will find all over the wasteland. So let's just do this real quick. Nuka-Cola Classic. The original sugary, mildly radioactive soda. Nuka-Cola Quantum. Blue, glowing, and twice caffeinated with strontium number 90 for a kick. Nuka-Cola Cherry / Wild. Regional flavors with cherry or root beer notes. Nuka-Cola Dark, a rum-infused version for adult markets. Fallout 4. Nuka-Cola Victory Orange. Limited edition flavors for patriotic or niche markets. In Nuka World, Fallout 4 DLC, massive theme park in Massachusetts opened in 2050 with zones like Galactic Zone and Safari Adventure. It showcased Nuka-Cola's cultural grip with rides, mascots, example, Bottle and Cappy, and secret Voltec lab for experiments. Nuka-Cola plants. Factories like Kanawa Nuka-Cola plant in Fallout 76 and Nuka-Cola bottling plant in the Commonwealth Fallout 4 were automation marvels, producing millions of bottles daily. Volt integration. Volts like 111 and 81 had Nuka-Cola vending machines. Trying the drink, tying the drink to survivalists' culture. Some Volts, example Volt 118 and Fallout 4's Far Harbor DLC, even had Nuka-Cola themed experiments. Wasteland relics. Nuka-Cola vending machines, posters, bottles, litter ruins across Fallouts 1, 2, and 3, New Vegas 4, and 76, symbolizing the pre-war excess. the Pip-Boy's creation. The Pip-Boy was created by Robco Industries, a leading pre-war technology company founded by Robert House, later Mr. House of Fallout New Vegas. Robco specialized in robotics, software, and personal computing, dominating the market alongside rivals such as General Atomics and Voltec. Introduced in the 2060s, Pip-Boy was designed as a rugged, multi-purpose device for civilians, military personnel, and Vault dwellers. Its name, an acronym for Personal Information Processor, reflects its role as portable computer managing data, communication, and survival functions. The Pip-Boy was heavily integrated with Vault-Tec's Vault program, issued to residents as standard equipment to monitor health, inventory, and Vault systems. Its retrofuturistic design, bulky monochrome displays, and vacuum tube tech mirrors the Fallout world's 1950s aesthetic, fused with advanced computing. Core features of the Pip-Boy include health monitoring, inventory management, map and navigation, data storage, and its iconic VATS system, the Vault-Tec Assisted Targeting System. All right, let's do a quick rundown of the founding of the Pip-Boy timeline. Robco Industries rises as a tech giant under Robert House in 2050. Pip-Boy developed and integrated into Vaults in 2060s. Great War Pip-Boys remain functional in Vaults and the Wasteland, October 23rd, 2077. Pip-Boy models and evolution. Pip-Boy 1.0, Fallout 76 pre-2077. An early prototype, clunky and limited by Vault-Tec staff and select Fallout 76 residents. Or Vault 76 residents. It lacked advanced features like VATS, but included basic mapping and health tracking. Pip-Boy 2000, which is what's behind me here, in Fallouts 1 and 2, first widely issued model of the standard in vaults like Vault 13 and 15. It featured a monochrome screen, basic interface, and detachable design that could be mounted on a stand for desk use. The Vault Dweller, Vault 1, and the Chosen One from Fallout 2 used this model to navigate the Wasteland. Pip-Boy 2000 Mark 6, Vault 76, or Fallout 76 2102, an upgraded version to the Vault 76 Resonance with improved durability and a sleeker interface. It supports Appalachian unique challenges like tracking Scorch Beast signals. Pip-Boy 3000, Fallout 3, and New Vegas. A leap forward, used in Vaults 101 and others, it featured a brighter green display, VATS, and radio integration. The Lone Wanderer, Fallout 3, and the Courier from Fallout New Vegas relied on it. Variants include the 3000A, standard model wrist-mounted with a rugged casing, and the 3000 Mark IV from Fallout 4, enhanced with a larger screen, color-coded menus, and better integration with power armor used by the sole survivor in Vault 111. Pip-Boy Pam from Fallout 4, a rare prototype found in the Commonwealth, customized for Predictive? Oh, I'm fucking stupid. Pip-Boy Pam, Fallout 4, a rare prototype found in the Commonwealth, customized for the Predictive Analytic Machine, otherwise known as PAM, and advanced data processing capabilities. Post-war use. After the Great War, 2077, Pip-Boys became invaluable in the wasteland, scavenging from vaults or carried by survivors. Their durability, thanks to Robco's military-grade engineering, allowed them to function centuries later, even in harsh conditions. Wastelanders like the Courier from Fallout New Vegas acquired Pip-Boys from Vault Dwellers, example being Doc Mitchell in Fallout 21, while others like Raiders rarely used them due to their complexity. In Fallout 4 2287, the Pip-Boy 3000 Mark IV interfaced with crafting stations and power armor, showing its adaptability to post-war needs. The Brotherhood of Steel was founded in the aftermath of the Great War of 2077, when the nuclear devastation obliterated much of civilization. Its roots trace back to the U.S. Army, specifically a military unit stationed at the Mariposa Military Base in California. Under the command of Captain Roger Maxson. Pre-war context. Before the war, Mariposa was secretly a facility researching the Forced Evolutionary Virus, or FEV for short, a bioweapon intended to create super soldiers. Maxson, a principled officer, grew suspicious of the unethical experiments conducted on human subjects. In October 2077, after uncovering the horrific truth, Maxson and his soldiers executed the scientists, declared independence from the U.S. government, and went rogue. The Great War. On October 23rd, 2077, nuclear bombs fell. Maxson's unit survived in the fortified Mariposa base. Isolated from the collapsing world, Maxson contacted surviving military remnants via radio, but received no clear response. He declared his group a distinct entity, dedicated to preserving technology and knowledge to prevent humanity's extinction. Founding the Brotherhood. By 2878, Maxson formalized the Brotherhood of Steel, structuring it as a techno-religious order. Inspired by the medieval knights' orders, Brotherhood adopted a rigid hierarchy: elders, paladins, knights, scribes, etc., and a mission to safeguard advanced technology from misuse in the post-apocalyptic wasteland. They relocated in the Lost Hills bunker, establishing their first headquarters. In Maxson logs, found in Fallout 1, this reveals his anguish over the war and his visions for the Brotherhood as a beacon of hope. His ideals shaped the faction's early identity, blending military discipline with a near-spiritual reverence for technology. Early years, isolation and preservation. In the decades following the Great War, the Brotherhood adopted as secretive, isolationist group, focusing on collecting and preserving pre-war era technology, such as power armor, energy weapons, and computers. Technological hoarding. The Brotherhood believed that humanity's misuse of technology caused the apocalypse, so they sought to control dangerous technology and prevent other catastrophes. They salvaged pre-war relics, particularly power armor, notably the T-45 and later the T-51 models, which became their signature. Cultural development. The Brotherhood developed a quasi-religious culture, with rituals like the chain that binds, a doctrine emphasizing loyalty and obedience within the hierarchy. Scribes preserved knowledge while knights and paladins maintained and wielded technology in combat. First conflicts. By the 2130s, the Brotherhood began venturing into the wasteland, clashing with raiders and mutants. Their early missions focused on securing tech from ruins such as old military bases or Vault-Tec facilities. They avoided large-scale engagement with other factions, preferring isolation. The Brotherhood's early obsession with secrecy led to rumors of hidden bunkers and lost technologies. In Fallout 1, terminals in Lost Hills hint at classified projects, including experimental weapons or robotics, though specifics remain undisclosed. We're going to go ahead and start talking about their appearances throughout the games. We're going to start with Fallout 1, and I haven't looked all the way through what Grok has said, but it'll probably bring us all the way past to Fallout 76. Fallout 1, 2161, the Brotherhood's first major appearance. In Fallout 1, set in Southern California, the Brotherhood is a reclusive but powerful faction. The player, the Vault Dweller, encounters them at Lost Hills. The Brotherhood is initially aloof, refusing to aid outsiders unless their goals align. They task the Vault Dweller with retrieving lost artifact from the Glow, a heavily irradiated pre-war facility, as a test of worthiness. If the player joins, they gain access to advanced gear, including power armor. The Brotherhood becomes involved in the fight against the Master, a mutant leader using FEV to create super mutant armies. While initially hesitant, they provide critical support, troops or weapons, if the Vault Dweller earns their trust. Their philosophy. At this stage, the Brotherhood is rigid and isolationist, hoarding technology and avoiding wasteland politics. Their codex emphasizes preserving knowledge over rebuilding civilization, viewing most wastelanders as unworthy of advanced tech. Here's a quick fan theory. Some fans speculate that the Brotherhood's reluctance to engage in Fallout 1 stems from internal debates about their mission. A popular theory suggests that a suppressed faction within the Brotherhood wanted to use their tech to rebuild society, but was overruled by hardline elders, setting the stage for later schemes. Schisms. Fallout 2, 2241. Expansion and stagnation. By Fallout 2, set 80 years later, the Brotherhood has expanded but faces decline due to its rigid ideology. Northern expansion. The Brotherhood established outposts in Northern California, including San Francisco and Denver. However, their influence waned as new powers, like the New California Republic, NCR for short, rose. Eternal struggles. The Brotherhood's isolationist stance limited their growth. They avoided alliances and focused on tech collection, which strained resources. Some members, like Jeremy Maxon, pushed for a more aggressive expansion, but the elders resisted the change. In Fallout 2, the Brotherhood has a minor presence, offering the Chosen One a side quest to retrieve a vertebrate plans from Navarro, a pre-war enclave base. Their diminished role reflects their stagnation compared to the NCR's growth. The Brotherhood's San Francisco outpost hints at early experiments with vertibirds aircraft, suggesting that they sought to reverse engineer Enclave tech. This could imply a secretive aviation program, though it's never been fully explored in-game. Quick fan theory. Fans theorize that the Brotherhood's decline in Fallout 2 was exacerbated by a covert power struggle. Some believe that Rogue faction attempted to break away, seeking to share technology with Wastelanders, but was silenced by the Elders, explaining the group's reduced presence. Which would also kind of make sense because in Fallout 3, there's Outcast Brotherhood members. Just saying. Fallout 3, 2277. The East Coast Schism. In Fallout 3, set in the capital wasteland, Washington, D.C., the Brotherhood undergoes a dramatic shift under Elder Owen Lyons. East Coast Expedition. In the 2250s, the Brotherhood sent a detachment led by Lyons to the East Coast to recover tech and establish a presence. They set up in the Citadel, a fortified Pentagon ruin, and salvaged advanced tech, including the Liberty Prime robot. Lyons' Reformation. Unlike the traditional Brotherhood, Lyons prioritized protecting Wastelanders from super mutant over-hoarding tech. This shift caused a rift. Hardliners viewed it as a betrayal of the Codex. Lyons' group began recruiting locals and aiding settlements, adopting a more altruistic mission. The Outcasts. In 2276, dissenters led by Paladin Henry Caston broke away, forming the Outcasts. They adhered to the original Brotherhood mission of tech preservation, rejecting Lyons' humanitarian focus. These outcasts operate in small mobile units, scavenging tech in the capital wasteland. Conflict with the Enclave. The Brotherhood under Lyons fought with the Enclave, a fascist remnant of the pre-war government, for control of Project Purity, a water purifier. With the Lone Wanderer's help, they activated Liberty Prime and defeated the Enclave at Adams Air Force Base. Lyons' shift in a pivotal moment, showing the Brotherhood's potential to evolve. However, his reforms alienated the West Coast Elders, who cut off communication, effectively exiling his chapter. Terminals in the Citadel reveal that Lyons' daughter, Sarah, is a high-ranking paladin, was key supporter of his reforms. Some speculate she influenced his decision, though her death in Fallout 4's opening leaves this unexplored. There's a quick fan theory here. Fans speculate that Lyons' reforms were inspired by contact with mysterious group, possibly Vault-Tec survivors or a lost Enclave faction, who shared humanitarian ideals. This theory stems from a vague reference in Fallout 3's terminals to external advisors. Fallout New Vegas 2281, the Mojave Chapter Struggle. In Fallout New Vegas, the Brotherhood's Mojave chapter, based in Hidden Valley, is a remnant of the West Coast faction, struggling to survive. War with the NCR. The Brotherhood clashed with the NCR over control of Helios 1, a solar power plant. The NCR numerical superiority forced Brotherhood to retreat. locking themselves in the hidden valley under Elder Elijah's leadership. Elijah's fall. Elijah, a brilliant but unstable elder, became obsessed with finding advanced tech, such as Sierra Madre's treasures in the Dead Money DLC of Fallout 3. Or New Vegas, rather. His reckless leadership led to his disappearance, and Elder Nolan McNamara took over, enforcing strict isolation. Player choices. The courier can ally with the Brotherhood, destroy them, or broker a peace with the NCR. The chapter's fate depends on the player's actions, highlighting their precautious position. Hidden Valley terminals reveal that Elijah experimented with forbidden tech, including AI and holograms, hinting at a darker side to the Brotherhood's tech obsession. His actions had violated the Codex, explaining his ostracization. Some fans believe that the Mojave chapter secretly developed the prototype weapon using Helios 1's solar tech, which was lost during the NCR conflict. This Archimedes 2 weapon is referenced in-game but never fully explained, fueling speculation about hidden Brotherhood projects. Fallout 4, 2287, The Rise of Arthur Maxon. In Fallout 4, in the Commonwealth, Boston, the Brotherhood, now led by Elder Arthur Maxon, merges Lion's altruism with traditionalist zeal. Maxon's leadership. Arthur Maxon, a descendant of Roger Maxon, took control at 16 after Owen Lyon's death. He recruited Lyon's chapter with the outcasts and reconnected the West Coast elders, restoring Brotherhood's strength. The Prydwen. The Brotherhood arrives in the Commonwealth aboard the Prydwen, a massive airship built from salvaged Enclave tech. They aim to destroy the Institute, a secretive group creating synths, androids, which Maxon views as a technological abomination. Militarized approach. Maxon's Brotherhood is more aggressive, combining Lyon's protectiveness with a hardline stance against non-humans, synths, ghouls, and supermutants. They recruit locals but maintain strict control over the tech. Player choices. The sole survivor can join the Brotherhood, destroy them, or side with rival factions. The Brotherhood's campaign against the Institute accumulates in a dramatic assault, with Liberty Prime rebuilt for battle. Maxon's leadership is divisive. Supporters see him as a unifying figure. Critics view him as a zealot whose prejudice against non-humans echoes Enclave ideology. The Prydwen's construction involved reverse engineering Enclave vertibird tech, but the terminal suggests that Brotherhood hid the full extent of their Enclave salvage, possibly including AI or energy weapons. A popular fan theory suggests that Maxon's anti-synth crusade stems from their personal trauma, perhaps an encounter with a synth infiltrator. This is speculative, as Fallout 4's provides no direct evidence in this intense hatred and fuels the idea. Fallout 76, 2102 through 2104, the Appalachian chapter. In Fallout 76, set in Appalachia, West Virginia, the Brotherhood's earliest chapter is explored, offering insight into the formative years. Tagrity's Thunder. In the Appalachian chapter was founded by Paladin Elizabeth Tagri, a pre-war friend of Roger Maxon. After the Great War, Maxon contacted Tagri unit via satellite, convincing them to join the Brotherhood. They adopted his structure and its mission, operating from Fort Defiance and Camp Venture. Scorched Plague. The chapters fought the Scorched, a plague-infected faction controlled by mutated creatures. Despite their efforts, the chapter was wiped out in 2095, leaving behind bunkers and recordings. Legacy. In 2103, the Brotherhood's first expeditionary force, led by Paladin Liena Romani, arrives from Lost Hills and reestablish a presence. This group faces eternal tensions between Romani's progressive ideals and Knight Daniel's Shin's traditionalism, echoing further schisms. Tagri's logs reveal that Maxon shared experimental tech, including early power armor prototypes, with her chapter, believing some prototypes were lost in Appalachia, awaiting rediscovery. Fan theories speculate that Appalachian chapter's failure was due to sabotage of early rival faction, possibly by Enclave precursors. Scattered Enclave tech in Fallout 76 supports this idea, though it's unconfirmed. Fallout the television series, set in 2296. The Brotherhood in live action. The Fallout TV series, set in 2296, portrays the Brotherhood in a post-Fallout 4 world, with a focus on a West Coast chapter. The series follows Maximus, a Brotherhood squire, as he navigates the faction's rigid hierarchy and uncovers secrets about powerful artifacts. The Brotherhood is depicted as militaristic, dogmatic group and adhering to tech preservation but struggling with internal corruption. Cultural depiction. The show emphasizes the Brotherhood's knightly aesthetic with power armor and airships, but hints at a moral decay as some leaders prioritize power over ideals. The series suggests that the Brotherhood possesses a hidden vault of pre-war tech, possibly tied to Vault-Tec experiments, which could reshape the role of the future seasons. Fan theories speculate that the series Brotherhood is a splinter group, possibly disconnected from Maxon's chapter. Even their focus on specific artifacts could tie to a larger narrative about the Brotherhood's fragmentation post Fallout 4. Okay, this last little section here is just going to be some secrets and fan theories and speculation. Lost technologies. The Brotherhood likely possesses undocumented tech, such as prototypes, weapons, or AI, hinted at in terminals across the games. Their secrecy fuels speculation about hidden bunkers or projects. The Codex origins. The Brotherhood's Codex guiding doctrine is rarely detailed. Some believe it contains encrypted sections accessible only to elders, possibly outlining the contingency plans for global domination. Enclave connections. The Brotherhood's use of Enclave tech, vertebrates, Liberty Prime, suggests deeper ties. Some speculate they secretly collaborated with the Enclave defectors, a taboo topic within the faction. That would be fucking wild. The Brotherhood's endgame. Some fans theorize the Brotherhood aims to create a techno-feudal society, ruling as knights over a rebuilt world. Maxon's actions in Fallout 4 support this, though it conflicts with their stated mission. Hidden chapters. The Brotherhood's global reach is unclear. Fans speculate that chapters in Europe or Asia based on vague reference into satellite communications in Fallout 76. Synth infiltration. A theory poses that synths from the Institute infiltrated the Brotherhood, explaining Maxon's paranoia. This could tie to future Fallout stories, especially the TV series.